Today, we are tackling one of the biggest questions out there, maybe the biggest question. What is consciousness? You know, that constant private movie that's always playing in your head? It's the one thing you can be absolutely sure exists. And yet, somehow, it's also one of the greatest mysteries in the entire universe. So, let's dive in.
Just take a second and think about it. What does it actually feel like to be you at this very moment? The light hitting your eyes, the sound of my voice, maybe the feeling of the chair you're sitting in. That whole subjective inner world, that's consciousness. And for science, well, that's a huge problem.
The philosopher David Chalmers famously called this the hard problem. Look, we can map every single neuron in the brain. We can track every electrical signal. That's the easy stuff, relatively speaking. But why? Why does all that squishy brain matter, all that electrical firing, produce the actual feeling of seeing the color red or tasting a piece of chocolate? That jump from the physical stuff to the inner experience, that is the mystery we're exploring today.
Okay, so to even begin to tackle the hard problem, we need some kind of framework. And that brings us to our first big idea, the major theories that try to explain what consciousness actually is.
The debate really starts at this fundamental fork in the road. On one side, you've got dualism. This is the classic idea that the mind isn't physical at all. It's something else, separate from the brain. But on the other side, you've got materialism, which is the view most scientists hold today. It says that no, the mind and brain are the same thing. Consciousness is a physical process that happens in the brain.
Now, within that materialist camp, one of the most powerful ideas is called functionalism, and it basically argues that maybe we're asking the wrong question. It's not about what consciousness is made of, whether it's neurons or silicon chips. What really matters is what it does. It's all about the function, the inputs and the outputs.
And this is exactly why functionalism is such a hot topic right now. It cracks the door open to a truly mind-bending question. If we build an AI that perfectly mimics the function of a human brain, would it actually be conscious? Would there be something it feels like to be that AI? This theory really forces us to think about what a mind even is.
So, to make this a little more concrete, Bernard Bars came up with this brilliant metaphor with his global workspace theory. He says, imagine your mind as a theater. There's so much activity happening backstage, right? All these unconscious processes. But it's only the information that gets pushed out onto the stage, into that single bright spotlight, that becomes available to the whole brain. That spotlight, that's your conscious awareness.
So we have some theories about the what. And that brings us to our second big idea. We're going to shift from the abstract philosophy to the hard science, the hunt for where. If consciousness is a product of the brain, well, where in the brain is it actually happening?
To figure this out, scientists are on the hunt for something they call the neural correlates of consciousness, or NCCs for short. The whole goal is to find the exact minimum brain activity that is always there when you have a conscious experience and gone when you don't. It's like they're trying to find the brain's unique signature for seeing the color red or feeling happy.
But how do you even test for consciousness in someone who can't talk or move or respond in any way? This is where the research gets incredibly powerful. I want you to imagine a patient who's been in a vegetative state for years, showing zero outward signs of being aware of anything.
You can imagine the profound, absolutely heartbreaking question that doctors and families have to face every single day. Is anyone in there? It's a question that the neuroscientist Adrian Owen was determined to answer, not with philosophy, but with technology.
The experiment he designed was just brilliantly simple. They put a patient who is completely unresponsive on the outside into an fMRI scanner. And then they just asked her to do something purely mental. Imagine you're playing a game of tennis.
And the result was absolutely astonishing. The part of her brain involved in planning movements, the supplementary motor area, it just lit up with activity. It was the exact same brain signature they saw in healthy, conscious people who were asked to imagine playing tennis. Her body was still, but her mind? It was there. It was active, and it was following commands. Incredible.
And this brings us right to our third and final big idea. We've talked about what consciousness might be and where we might find it, but what is it actually for? I mean, what is the evolutionary function of this incredibly elaborate inner world? Well, the answer might not be what you think.
It turns out, consciousness might not be for seeing reality clearly at all. In fact, your brain isn't some passive window looking out at the world. It's an active storyteller. Your entire experience of reality is really a kind of controlled hallucination. It's your brain's best guess about what's out there, built from noisy, incomplete sensory data. And that guess? Well, it can be hacked.
A perfect and kind of creepy example of this is the rubber hand illusion. Okay, picture this. Your real hand is hidden from view, and you see a fake rubber hand in front of you. Someone starts stroking both your hidden hand and the fake hand at the exact same time in the exact same way. After a little while, something amazing happens. Your brain gets confused and tries to resolve this conflict. It decides that the rubber hand is your hand, and you literally start to feel the sensation in the fake limb. It's just a powerful reminder that even your sense of self is a construct.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground here, from deep philosophy to mind-bending neuroscience. So let's bring it all together with a few key takeaways.
First, just remember those 3 lenses. To really get a handle on this, we have to ask, what is it, where is it, and why do we even have it? Second, the big consensus in science right now is that consciousness is a physical process happening in the brain. Third, and this is a huge one, your reality isn't just something you perceive, it's something your brain actively builds. And finally, even with all this incredible progress, that hard problem, why it feels like something to be you, that remains one of the most profound, unsolved mysteries in all of science.
So, I'll just leave you with this one final thought. If your entire conscious experience of the world is a simulation running inside your skull, a useful story your brain tells itself just to survive, then what, if anything, is truly real? Thanks for tuning in.